What's up guys, Coach Pippin here from Pippin Performance and welcome to the Fit Project. Your weekly workouts designed to help you be strong, be mobile. Today's workout is all about prepping us to learn how to crawl. Crawling may seem easy, but that all changes once you get down there and start moving. We'll begin by getting our core ready to brace and then get those shoulders ready to stabilize. Beginners and advanced lifters should do this workout a few times a week. The only equipment needed is a pair of dumbbells and an adjustable bench. If you don't have an adjustable bench, you can always use a chair. Today's workout includes lying chin tucks, articulating bridges, hollowed holds, the quad ped hip car, incline dumbbell rows, the crawl pattern, and dual shoulder cars. All right guys, let's get started and let's start with those lying chin tucks. So the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna lay flat on your back. Have your knees at 90 degrees. You're gonna start by tucking the pelvis, make sure everything's nice and solid. And then now we're gonna put our head so our chin comes down. I'm trying to flatten out that space behind my head. So hands rest gently on my ribs. And I'm gonna start by trying to push my chin up toward the ceiling. And then I'm going to pull inward and almost give myself a double chin. I'm gonna pause there for 1 second, and that's the first rep. And now let's get 9 more. Up to the ceiling and tuck really hard. Try not to let your torso move while you're doing this. You're just moving that chin, giving yourself the double chin. Try to keep this posture in mind when we start to go to do other things. Pretty much your chin should always be tucked into neutral no matter what you're doing. If you got one of those dreaded office jobs, you want to make sure to do a couple of these at least once a week. Get that head back over the spine. And now let's finish up that last one. Did a good engagement, feeling that chin being tucked. Feel the front of the neck turning on, back of the neck getting a good stretch, and relax. All right, next thing up, we're gonna do the articulated bridges. So we're gonna do only 5 of these because we're gonna move really slow. So all articulating means is that we're trying to move each vertebrae one by one. So we're gonna start with our pelvis rotated forward. So the top of the pelvis is forward, bottom of the pelvis is back, so my lower back is not in contact with the ground. All right, that's our starting position. We want to tuck the chin, reach the fingertips toward the feet, knees at 90 degrees, and we're going to slowly begin by rolling the pelvis. The back becomes flush with the ground, and now we're going to slowly drive our heels so our butt slowly starts to rise toward the ceiling, and it's almost like I'm picking up my spine one by one, exposing each vertebrae off the ground. I'm going to get as high as I can to where I feel safe. I should feel a stretch in the front of my hips. My glutes should be really engaged. And now we're going to return back toward the floor. We're going to try to lower the top vertebrae down one by one. Very slowly coming down. Eventually the lower back comes in contact, then the glutes, and then we're going to roll our pelvis forward, taking the lower back off the ground. And that's the end of the first rep. We're going to get 4 more here, guys. So let's go ahead and roll back. Back gets flat, slowly start picking those hips up off the ground. Excellent, get as high as you can, feel your glutes engaged, front of the hips open, and now we return back toward the ground. Each vertebrae down one by one. Untuck the pelvis, lower back's off, and let's start that 3rd rep. Tuck and drive, getting higher and higher off the ground. You should be able to get a little bit higher now. And go right back down, each vertebrae one by one. Come down, roll the pelvis. Let's get these last 2. Tuck and slowly drive. Let's get a little bit more range on this one. Squeeze the glutes, come on down. Really slow, each vertebrae one by one. Untuck, and let's get this last one, guys. Tuck it, drive through the heels. Let's get a good pause up there, squeeze every little bit of range of motion we can, and back down slowly each vertebrae. Untuck, and let's relax. Next up, we got the hollow hold. So the hollow hold is basically an abdominal exercise. Nothing is moving once we start. We're gonna do what we call 10 birthday candle breaths. What that means is you're gonna try to blow out as much air as humanly possible, just like you're blowing out birthday candles on a cake. So we're going to begin by flattening that lower back. Take your legs up in the air and arms straight up over the shoulders. So the more beginner you are, you're probably going to stay here. The more advanced you are, you can start to lower your arms and limbs as low as you can go and you still feel safe and your lower back is driving into the ground. So imagine you got that weight scale underneath your lower back, push down that weight scale, take your arms and legs to wherever you feel safe, keep driving that weight scale, and now let's do our 10 birthday candle breaths. So big inhale, big exhale, that's 1. Get 9 more of those, guys. Keep driving that lower back. 5 more. 3 more. Last one. Blow all that air out and slowly let your arms and legs come down to the floor. Next thing we got is the quad hip car. So now that we've learned how to stabilize our spine, we need to put it into practice now with the hip car. So quad just means you're on all fours. So we want hands directly underneath the shoulders, knees directly underneath the hips. So a little tip here is if you think like you're pulling your hands toward you, you'll start to feel your abdominals turn on just a little bit more. Keep that in mind as we go through this. So when we go to do the hip car, I like to think that I have a nice glass of something right here, okay? I don't want to spill it. So my head goes in neutral. I'm going to begin by pulling my right knee up toward my right elbow. I'm going to freeze them. I can't go anymore. If I feel like I'm collapsing my spine, that means I've gone too far. So now the knees start to come up toward the ceiling. I'm still keeping my back flat to the ground. When I can't get any higher there, I start to rotate my foot up and I swoop around. And now my goal is to get my femur or thigh pretty much parallel with the floor while keeping my abs still engaged. From this position, I now pull the knee back through the zone to the restarting position. That's 1. Let's get 4 more and let's try to move as smooth as possible. If you feel like you're kind of getting a skipping feeling where you don't really have control, that's totally normal. Just means you need to spend more time there, earning the control. That's 2. Let's get 3 more. Don't try to get too crazy with your range of motion when you're first starting these out. Just do what you can, keep it small, develop control, and then you can start to branch out after that. Good, let's get 1 more, guys. Keep breathing and just feeling where your hips going. Keep that tension in the abdominals. Excellent. I'm gonna spin around so you guys can see this hip moving. So once again, pull those hands toward you, get those abs turned on, nice and tight. Let's pull that left knee up toward the elbow, knee up to ceiling. Start to rotate the foot. Knee gets high off the ground, foot's high off the ground, and pull back through. Do a little check-in, see if your abs are engaged. Back's flat, we're not spilling that glass. That's 2, let's get 3 more, guys. Remember, slower is always better with these. 2 more. All right, 1 more. Remember, go to where you feel safe. Nothing should feel crazy here. Everything's nice and engaged. And relax, that's 5. All right, guys, we're gonna go through all that again. So let's get back to those lying chin tucks. Back flat. Reach the fingertips toward the feet. And let's now give ourselves a double chin. Good tuck, feel the front of the neck turn on. And release, chin goes back up to the ceiling. And tuck that chin. Let's get 10 of these total. Now when you're doing these, you want to try to take it as big a range as humanly possible. Now, but when you're actually starting to utilize this when you're lifting, you probably aren't going to go quite as far as you're going right now, but it's good to have the control and know where your chin is at all times. Let's get 5 more. And 4. 3. 2 more. And 1. Really tuck it, feel the front of that neck get really turned on. Back of the neck's getting nice and stretched out. And relax completely. All right, let's get into those articulating bridges. We're gonna get 2 again, or 5 again. Reach the fingers, get a little bit of a mild chin tuck. Like I was talking about a second ago, you don't have to get as tucked as you were, but just make sure you're somewhere close. Let's start with our pelvis rolled forward, so lower back's off the ground. Tuck, and drive the heels. Come on up, picking each vertebrae up one by one, very slowly on this, guys. And then now lower, touching each vertebrae down one by one. And the butt starts to touch, roll the pelvis forward, and that's one. Let's get 4 more, guys. Tuck, drive through the heels, get that good height, squeeze your glutes to the top, down smooth, butt touches, untuck, and let's get number 3. If your back's been bothering you a little bit lately, you've been stuck in chairs for a little while, flying, whatever you're doing, it's always a good idea to get on the ground, get some good blood flow in that lower back. And down. Let's go, last one, guys. Tuck it. Get all the way up there, squeeze everything you got in those glutes. Feel the front of the hip open, and down smooth. And untuck. All right, let's get into those hollow holds. So we're gonna do 10 birthday candle breaths again. See if you can get a little bit lower this time than what you did the first time. Make sure we're driving that lower back in the ground, thinking about that weight scale, get the biggest number possible. Get in that good position, chin tucked, and big breaths. Keep driving that lower back. 4 more, guys. 3, 2, and last one, blow it all out. And come on down and relax. All right, let's finish up with that quad ped hip car. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, abs engaged, flat lower back. Imagine that little glass is on your lower back. And let's begin. Right knee to elbow, up to the ceiling. Knee rotates, foot goes high. Come around, get parallel with the floor, and return to the starting position. That's one. Let's get 4 more. And 3. Do a little check-in for these last 2. Keep pulling those hands. Back stays flat. Good. And last one. Get every little bit of that range of motion you got. Get control of it. And back through the zone. Let's switch legs. Recheck those abs. Get good engagement. Left knee to left elbow. And then take that knee up to the ceiling, rotating through. Make sure that back stays flat. And that's one. Let's get 4 more. And 3. And 2. Do a little check-in. Get really good on this last one and try to get the best range of motion you got. Getting high, exploring all those ranges. And back through. Awesome job, guys. All right, now we're gonna get to the next part of the workout. We're gonna first start with incline dumbbell rows. So, if you got an adjustable bench, you're gonna set up just like I have it here. If you don't have one of these, you can use a chair, and then we can do just a regular 1-arm row using your hand on the chair. Just use whatever you got. We just need to get some kind of rowing in. So, I'm gonna begin by having my chest line pretty much right here at the top of the bench. Tuck my pelvis, and then try to lift my chest. If I don't tuck my pelvis first, and then I lift my chest like this, it's gonna bleed into my lower back, and I don't want that. So if I stay tucked here, lift the chest up, it means I'm getting good extension in my upper back. Grab the dumbbells, and we're just gonna shoot for 10 reps here. So palms face, recheck that pelvis, lift the chest, give ourselves a little bit of that double chin, and we're gonna drive the elbows straight up and down. That's one. Let's get 9 more, guys. Try to get a good pause at the top. Just go to where you feel safe and comfortable. Do a little recheck, tuck that pelvis, lift the chest, chin tuck. If you find that your feet are sliding a little bit, you can always put some weights behind your toes. Do whatever you gotta do to make sure you're staying solid. Let's get these last 2. Last one, squeeze that range of motion, hold there. Keep that chin tucked, and down nice and slow. Put the dumbbells on down,
All right, now we're gonna get into the crawl pattern. So, you're gonna start out on all fours. Once again, keep the hand directly underneath the shoulders. And now my knees are directly underneath my hips, tuck my toes. And I'm gonna get into that crawl position. So, the key here is that the left hand moves, the right foot moves. We don't wanna go both sides, we wanna go opposites. Whatever distance my hand travels, I want the same distance my foot to travel. So if I go 3 inches left hand, I want 3 inches right hand. So we're gonna go left, right, right, left. We're gonna go 4 steps forward, 4 steps back. We're gonna do 2 rounds of that. All right, guys, get hands underneath, get nice and engaged. Abs are tight, back's flat. We're gonna go left and right, right and left. Left and right, right and left. That's 4. Now we're gonna go backwards. So the left foot goes back, right hand goes back. Right and left and right. And I'm back to my start position. Get a recheck. Let's go again. Left hand forward, right foot forward, right and left. And let's go backwards. Good. Hold that final position. Make sure everything feels good. Abs are engaged, back is flat, chin's tucked. And let's come on down. All right, now we're gonna get into a dual shoulder car. So I'm gonna take a kneeling position. This kind of helps me stabilize a little bit more here. If you wanna do it standing, that's totally fine, but this just helps us get all this a little bit more engaged. So we're gonna go both arms, so take your hands, karate chopped hand, chin tuck, and I'm gonna slowly start by lifting my arms straight up to the ceiling, keeping my butt engaged. I'm gonna go to where I feel safe. It's probably a roadblock right there. Now I'm gonna swoop out, and I'm gonna start to rotate my elbows inward. Keep coming, and I'm gonna get to this position. I'm also envisioning like I'm holding a glass behind my back. I'm gonna come down a little bit, go back up. I can't go any higher, so now I'm gonna start to unwind those shoulders, get back as high as I can, and back down to the starting position. That's 1, let's get 4 more. So, butt, abs, chin tucked, thumbs go straight up to the ceiling, hit my roadblock, start to fan out, winding those elbows, as much rotation as I can squeeze out of it, come down, back up, can't go any higher, so now I gotta unwind, and back over the top, and through. Let's get 3 more. Up, 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 get that big range of motion at the top, go out to the side, winding the elbows. Come back up, unwind, back over the top. 2 more, guys. Keep that butt and abs engaged, chin tucked. Back up. All right, last one, guys. Let's get every little bit of range of motion we got in there. Up, 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 up. Out to the side, winding those shoulders. Come down, back up, get as high as you can. Now we gotta unwind and back up and over the top and through. All right, guys, we're gonna get 1 more round of that, all right? So by this point, your butt and abs should be pretty much turned on. Everything should be locked in, ready to go. Let's grab those dumbbells. Once again, chest height at the edge of the bench. Tuck the pelvis, lift the chest, chin tuck. Drop the elbows straight up to the ceiling. Let's get 10, guys. Every 3 or 4 reps, do a little check-in. Where's your pelvis? Where's your chin? Let's get 4 more. 3. And last one, let's try to hold up there. Squeeze your butt as hard as you can, chin tucked, and down nice and controlled. Put the dumbbells down, and let's get back to that crawl. So we're gonna go 4 steps forward, 4 steps back, 2 times, all right? So, get your setup, wrists directly underneath the shoulders, knees directly underneath the hips. Elevate, 1, 2, 3, 4, and back, 4, 3, 2, 1. Recheck, make sure everything's locked in, abs engaged. 1, 2, 3, 4, and back, 4, 3, 2, 1. Make sure everything's locked in. Abs engaged, and drop. All right, guys, let's finish up with those dual shoulder cars. Get really tall in our kneeling position, butt engaged, ribs down, double chin, straight up to the ceiling. Find that end range, swoop out, winding the elbows, come back up, unwind the elbows, come up over the top, and back to that starting position. Wind, wind, wind. Wherever you don't think you got any more internal rotation of winding that elbow, you probably got another 10 degrees, so just keep winding the elbow as far as it'll go. Back over. All right, guys, we got 2 more. Let's do a little check-in, abs, butt, make sure everything's good, double chin. Let's get these last 2. Expand those ranges of motion. Keep winding. Good, and last one, guys. Reach, 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 and wind those elbows. And back over the top, and really slow hand down. All right, guys, that's the end of the workout. Good job, and we'll see you guys next time.